For those of you who watched my trades video, no, I did not bring Tyrell Sloan in. That may have been his best ever start to a game, the best ever 30 to 40 minutes that we've seen from him. Thankfully, it all turned around in the second half with the Warriors drubbing. But yeah, I was in a world of pain early on, captaining Johnson, not having Sloan when he goes over for a try. He's bumping off Tohu Harris when we have him. And yeah, second line break in there. So that was, yeah, it ended up okay, thank goodness. But yeah, the start of this game, not so fun. But the Warriors absolutely dominate again. And yeah, such happy times for this club and so exciting for him. Really, 48-18 victors. It was obviously pretty evident after that sort of first 20-25 minutes that the Dragons just weren't working for each other. You could say they gave up a little bit in certain areas. Obviously, the effort areas is where teams that are either tired or they're not in a good headspace. That's when they start to falter, and that was exactly the case in this one. And the Warriors, obviously a good team. They're in the top 6. Might be even higher after this game, but yeah, we're able to capitalize on that. And just really want to shout out there to Jackson Ford, who actually had a really, really good game, especially in that first half. He was great, and obviously catching that high ball. Little switcheroo with Dylan Walker was an interesting one. They both got the try assist for that one, which is fair enough. But yeah, some amazing finishes from Watene Zelezniak. Averaging 45 for the season now is an amazing effort. For obviously a winger in the Warriors, we haven't seen that since Manu Vadavai, who was absolutely dominant for years. So yeah, very good from him. Adam Fanua-Blake, like I know TK and the boys at Talking League kind of mentioned him last year as the guy that you were going to select at a sort of a mid-range price that was going to get into keeper territory, and it didn't happen until this year, which is annoying. But he has taken a massive leap from last year. The consistency that he shows, some of the set plays like that try assist, the offload that he threw to SJ there, that was a set play where they got a couple of short passes, got him to step at the line into the gap on Ben Hunt's left shoulder, Jaden Sewer's right, and sneak through that gap knowing that Johnson was going to be there for the offload. So yeah, he's been great. Another 71 for his trouble there. But yeah, the finishes for Watene Zelezniak were amazing. It was a little bit frustrating for some of the some of the Chan's efforts. He's playing incredible as well, and could have been a couple more assists for him. It was just the second to last pass, which was a bit frustrating. If you had a look at his fantasy compared to his Supercoach score, he got 150 in the end, just because he ended up he set up those tries, but it ended up being that last pass from the center there that got the spoils. So that was that with Chance, and he's been incredible. I think he's averaging 55, just 54 to 55 since we brought him in. It's only been four games that he's played for us from round 13 with that one bye, and he's been absolutely incredible for anyone who brought him in, and he'll go up to a little closer to sort of 580 after this one with that awesome score. So yeah, as I said, he's been great. 7 tackle breaks, running for 200 meters there, the 2 try assists, 7 tackle breaks, just doing everything well. Did have a couple of errors, but yeah, for the most part, he was great in this game, and is such an important cog in this wheel. And it's incredible that the Raiders moved him on, for Xavier Savage, and they're not even playing him at all. So yeah, ridiculous times there. Obviously, him moving home as well was a big factor, and I think in a bigger factor in why he's playing well also. But yeah, he's been great. The 53 there as well. Everyone kind of went up 1 point overnight in updates, which is nice. Let's talk about SJ and DeBellin now. So they were the big captainers for the week. It was Johnson at 78.5% in the top 1,000. DeBellin was at 6.9, I believe, and then Mitch Moses is currently in the 7s, which I completely agree with. It was going to be Johnson, DeBellin, or Moses for myself, and I almost changed last minute to DeBellin just because I knew he was going to be consistent there. And when the Dragons were really in this game at the start, Johnson, I believe, was 4 in 20 minutes, and DeBellin was 23 in 20 minutes. So I was like, yay. Especially when we knew DeBellin was likely going to play 80 minutes. So it was pretty frustrating, but yeah, there wasn't much that Jack could do in that second 40, especially when the Warriors were dominant there. So SJ ended up with the 71. You picked up an extra 12 points on DeBellin if you captained Johnson. You lose 12 points if you captain DeBellin. That's all. You don't get the double, remember, because you get the big score from the other guy. So yeah, Johnson with his try, a couple of try assists there. Very limited on the negative side, compared to some other games. The 8 in total there. Didn't have to kick as much at 360, but ran the footy. And eventually worked out his goal kicking. Missed the first couple. I was like, missed the first couple of goals. Like, yep, exactly. The first time this year captaining him. And then had that kick that he put up that bounced down into his hands. He ended up dropping it as well, so that was tough. But yeah, Johnson with an awesome game and averaging 64.5 for the year. Wow. Yeah, well, I was talking to a few of the guys in the private group last night. That's, even myself, I had him at about a 43 to 48 kind of average. He had probably 5 to 8 points of value, I thought, from the start of the year, given he was priced in the high 30s. And wow, he's pushed everyone out of the water. There's a few guys that were confident that he could average about 50, but nothing like this. So SJ, the gift that keeps on giving, that's for sure. DeBellin to 59, so 54 tackles for him. He had 1 turnover tackle to 87 meters. Pretty stock standard game for him, and shows that he's clearly a keeper if he's going to get these big minutes going forward. It was his 200th, so sad to see a big loss for him in his 200th, but yeah, an awesome game on his part. Shout out to Matty Thompson for continuing to own Ford. I believe he's the only one, or one of the only ones in the top 100 that still owns 40. So yeah, 58, you'll take that every day of the week. The loop there for sure. Laurie with 49, Sullivan the 48. So the way this played out, it sounds like that Hunt's having a meeting this week, and a very high chance that, in my opinion, that he'll be moved on. I just think that after that game, the demoralization of it all, the fans wanting an answer, sounds like they pushed it back until after this game, after Origin and after this game, to have those chats, which is, I suppose, fair enough. And we'll find out more about that during the week. But there's a good chance that Sullivan becomes the 6 or the 7 long term. He did go into a little bit of dummy half there at one point when Little went off for that last 22 minutes. So there's that as well. But yeah, Sullivan has been great, and he's one of those guys who just puts stats up, and he's going to be a little bit over 400k. A half the plays in round 19. We'll just wait and see what happens there. Jacob Little had a lovely try assist, 44 tackles, and 3 misses. Pretty solid for Jacob overall with the 46 there. The minutes, you obviously want that closer to 80, but still a 46, you take that when he's priced way under that, which is cool. Tohu Harris, he earned the extra rest there, which we really needed him to play that extra 12, just to get him up to that 50, 52, something like that. Personally, I still don't think he looks the same, if we're being honest. His knees, that rest that he got, sounds like it's not really going to help him across the entirety of the year. So if you still don't own him, I would probably push you away from trying to grab him, to be honest. Just because I don't, he got a try assist the other week and got a 59. I just think the majority of his scores are going to be in that 50 mark. He's just been okay. He did have a little period there where I think his knees warmed up and he got some good running in, got himself up to 160 meters. But when the Warriors are dominating as well, that's going to drop down his tackle numbers. So he's still missing 3 tackles in there. One of them was a crappy one off Sloan at the start, where he just kind of ran in, got scared and pushed away, and you get a missed tackle for it. It's very frustrating that's how the missed tackles are given. But for him to only get 21 points in tackles is not nice at all. But two tackle breaks and an offload there to help Tohu out. Next week, they have a much tougher opponent in South, so I think that will be much better for his middle play, considering they make a lot of runs through the middle with Totola, Murray, and Tom Burgess, these types of players there, Hame-Sele, all through the middle and do good jobs there. So I think Tohu back to a 50 plus next week, but I wouldn't be looking to bring him in. Luki Metcalf, he got a line break, you got a try assist. He is looking better and better every week. Instead of kick meters, you get run meters with Luke, which means tackle breaks and line breaks and line break assists from there. So 43 for him. For anyone who has owned him or grabbed him this week, that's worked out well. He will make some good cash again, and just very happy for him being someone that I've a friend of mine. Let's say that, or my roommate's good friend. I met him a few times anyway. Sloaney, 40 for him. So thankfully it went down. He was on about 35 in before the halftime siren, and then didn't go too much further from there. But 2 line breaks a try, 7 tackle breaks, 116 meters, only 8 negatives, and still only getting 40. They play the Sharks next week, so it's a big worry there. DeBellin, how many tackles is he going to get next week? Hopefully not too many missed tackles, that's for sure. I can't see Sloan going too well next week, but Sharks defense hasn't been that great, but I imagine they'll get pumped by the Sharkies next week. Dylan Walker, what have we got? Lomax in there with 39, so he was solid with the defensive side. Turnover tackle and offload, some tackle breaks, bits and pieces with his goals for a 39. It's okay. Probably the same or probably better than what Lem's going to get this week. It's going to be a tough one that we'll speak about a little bit later down the track. Walker in there, the 39. Better Murdoch and Silla, little 60-minute job there. 55 run meters. Had a couple of good runs, actually, for 36 for him. Nick Ore, he runs the ball so hard, doesn't he? So much vigor. But another sin bin. He probably gets cited for this one. So him and Barnett, the suspension brothers, unfortunately. The controlled aggression. It didn't seem Like, it ended up bad, obviously, but the tackle was just, it's that tiny bit. Obviously, you lead with the shoulder a little bit to get in contact, but it's just the height of where you put your shoulder. So he's got to be better with that. It's not like Suldy was slipping or anything like that to cause an issue. So yeah, Niukore, not good there. All right, let's get straight to Jackie Bird. So 29 for him in the 80 minutes. There was some complaints on his end about a potential hip drop near the line. And he seemed to hobble a little bit throughout the game. He still had some decent runs, but only 70 meters. He did move to center fairly early on when they lost Sully in that second half. So 43 minutes for Moses. And unfortunately, that moved Bird to the centers where it didn't really help his score. He was 21 at halftime and only 8 in the second half, but they did get hammered as well. You can't expect much to happen on his end when they get hammered. If you look at that yet another fantasy site, you saw that Bird got brought in by about 178, 180 people there, which good for non-owners, obviously, but yeah, shows that if you did bring him in, you're not alone on that run as well with the 29 there. Jaden Sewer, for those that have him, there's a percentage, obviously 1.1, have him at the moment. A few guys in the top sort of 1,000 there, but not a lot, surprisingly, for how well he's been going. But a 28 in this one, 6 missed tackles, not good at all. And then you had Amone with 11, wasn't nice. Ravalawa, the 8 in the 80 minutes, and Fainai with 3. Sully 7 there, not great at all. But yeah, that's our first game, guys. So pretty good overall, to be honest with you. If you have Bird, I don't think you should worry too much. You should go back to the back row next week. Sully won't be there, but they'll have another replacement. Probably, one of the other Fainai. What's the other? Matt? Who played? Matt or Max? Yeah, I'm not sure. It's hard when it's MM. But yeah, they'll have the other Fainai brother. I'd imagine will come in at center, and they'll make that change. Bird will come back to the edge and do his thing from there. But that's the first game, guys. It's 3 today. Wish you all the best of luck heading into that. Again, let me know if you have 16 or 17 or what you're looking like playing. If you hear any news from guys backing up, send me a DM as well. That would be helpful. Or if it comes out early, but I imagine a lot of the NRL physios and the like will be posting them. But yeah, big thanks to everyone for watching this one and being here in round 17. More trades are coming soon. They are coming soon, guys. See you later.